The escort industry in India exists shrouded in a veil of secrecy, often misunderstood and misrepresented. This lack of clarity fuels numerous myths and misconceptions, perpetuating stigma and hindering informed discussions about sex work. One prevalent myth is that all forms of escort services are illegal in India. This is not entirely accurate, as the legal landscape is more nuanced than a blanket ban. Another misconception paints a picture of exploitation and coercion as inherent to the industry. While these issues undoubtedly exist, it's crucial to remember that many individuals engage in sex work voluntarily for economic reasons or personal agency. Confusing escort services with trafficking is another dangerous fallacy. Trafficking involves forced labor and exploitation, which are criminal offenses. While some instances within the escort industry might involve trafficking, it's incorrect to equate the two. This misconception further marginalizes sex workers and hinders efforts to combat actual trafficking rings. The lack of open dialogue about sex work allows these myths to flourish, creating a breeding ground for prejudice and discrimination. The reality is that many individuals involved in escort services operate independently or through agencies. They exercise control over their work and financial decisions. The assumption that all sex workers are victims ignores their agency and perpetuates harmful stereotypes. To truly understand the complexities of the industry, it's crucial to move beyond these myths and engage in informed, sensitive discussions that acknowledge the diverse experiences within the realm of escort services. The legal status of escort services in India is primarily governed by the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act 1956 or ITPA. This legislation, aimed at combating sex trafficking and exploitation, forms the bedrock of legal provisions surrounding sex work. However, the ITPA's language and interpretation have been subjects of debate and contention over the years. The Act itself doesn't explicitly criminalize adult consensual sex work, leading to ambiguity and varied interpretations. The ITPA primarily focuses on penalizing activities related to running brothels, soliciting in public spaces, and living off the earnings of sex work. This implies that while the Act aims to curb organized exploitation and public solicitation, it doesn't explicitly outlaw the act of engaging in sex work itself, particularly within private settings. This distinction is crucial in understanding the legal nuances surrounding escort services. The ITPA's focus on brothels and public solicitation raises questions about the legality of private escort services, which often operate discreetly and involve individual arrangements. This lack of clarity within the legislation has led to varied interpretations and inconsistent enforcement across different regions and contexts. While the ITPA remains the primary legal framework governing sex work, its application to the diverse realities of the industry, including escort services, demands further scrutiny and perhaps legislative amendments for greater clarity. Understanding the specific activities deemed legal and illegal under the ITPA is crucial for navigating the complex landscape of escort services in India. As previously mentioned, the Act primarily targets activities that facilitate exploitation and public nuisance. Running a brothel, defined as a place used for the purpose of prostitution, is strictly prohibited. This includes any premises used for soliciting or engaging in sexual activities with multiple individuals for financial gain. Similarly, soliciting in public places is also deemed illegal under the ITPA. This provision aims to prevent public nuisance and harassment, ensuring that individuals are not coerced or solicited for sexual services against their will. This includes activities like soliciting on the streets, in public parks, or near religious places. The Act also criminalizes living off the earnings of prostitution, targeting individuals who financially benefit from the exploitation of others. This provision aims to disrupt exploitative practices where individuals profit from the sex work of others without their consent or under duress. However, the Act does not explicitly outlaw the act of engaging in sex work itself, especially when conducted privately and consensually between adults. This distinction is often overlooked, leading to the misconception that all forms of sex work are illegal in India. Understanding these nuances is critical for ensuring that individuals involved in sex work are not unjustly targeted, while also cracking down on exploitative practices that violate the law and individual rights. Understanding the legal landscape surrounding escort services in India requires a comprehensive look at various laws and rulings. One significant piece of legislation is the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences, POSCO Act. Under POSCO, any sexual activity with a minor, defined as someone under the age of 18, is classified as rape, even if the minor provides consent. The Act takes a strong stance against child exploitation, ensuring that even inappropriate touching of a minor is considered a serious offense. It emphasizes that no witness is necessary to convict the perpetrator. The victim's statement alone suffices to secure a conviction. Furthermore, POSCO criminalizes the consumption and collection of pornographic content involving children, reinforcing the commitment to protect minors from sexual exploitation. Another landmark development came on the 19th of May 2022, when the Supreme Court of India recognized sex work as a legitimate profession. In a significant ruling, the court emphasized that sex workers should not be harassed by the police and are entitled to equal protection under the law. The ruling stated, "Sex workers are entitled to equal protection of the law. Criminal law must apply equally in all cases on the basis of age and consent. When it is clear that the sex worker is an adult and is participating with consent, the police must refrain from interfering or taking any criminal action." The three-judge bench, led by Justice L. Nageswara Rao, underscored that sex workers are equally entitled to a life of dignity, as guaranteed under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. Expressing concern over the brutal and violent ways police treat sex workers, the court noted that sex workers are often treated as a class whose rights are not recognized. The ruling called for sensitization of police and law enforcement agencies to the rights of sex workers, ensuring that they enjoy all basic human rights and other rights guaranteed in the Constitution to all citizens. This ruling marks a significant step towards acknowledging and respecting the rights of sex workers, ensuring that they are not unjustly targeted or harassed, and are treated with the dignity they deserve. On the 6th of September 2018, the Supreme Court of India issued a landmark ruling that fundamentally changed the landscape of LGBTQ+ rights in the country. In a unanimous decision, the court ruled that Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code, which criminalized consensual sex between adults, whether heterosexual or homosexual, was unconstitutional. This historic judgment underscored that the law infringed upon the fundamental rights of autonomy, intimacy, and identity. The decriminalization of homosexuality marked a significant step towards inclusivity and equality in India. The judgment emphasized that every individual has the right to love and express their identity without fear of legal repercussions. This ruling not only legalized gay sex, but also served as a beacon of hope for the LGBTQ+ community, affirming their right to live with dignity and freedom. The court's decision was a powerful statement against discrimination and stigma. It recognized that sexual orientation is an intrinsic part of a person's identity, and that consensual relationships between adults, regardless of gender, should not be subjected to societal prejudice or legal penalties. The ruling also paved the way for broader discussions on LGBTQ+ rights, including issues like marriage equality and anti-discrimination protections. While the decriminalization of homosexuality was a monumental achievement, it is just the beginning of the journey towards full equality. Activists and allies continue to work tirelessly to ensure that the LGBTQ+ community can enjoy the same rights and protections as every other citizen. This ruling has inspired hope and courage, encouraging more people to come out and live their truth openly. The decriminalization of Section 377 is a testament to India's evolving legal landscape, reflecting a growing recognition of human rights and individual freedoms. It serves as a reminder that the fight for equality is ongoing, and that every step forward brings us closer to a more inclusive and just society. There are no legal restrictions against gay sex or gay expression within India, marking a significant shift towards acceptance and equality. This ruling has not only changed the law, but also the lives of countless individuals, allowing them to embrace their true selves without fear. As we continue to explore the legal and social dimensions of escort services and LGBTQ+ rights in India, it is crucial to remember that these rulings are more than just legal decisions. They are affirmations of human dignity and the right to live authentically.